And super quick lang, pero what I liked about that was yung fact that as an architect, you have to create spaces and you have to take inspiration. Anything you see, like fashion, or you have to have your idols with you. So that's very interesting. Now, moving on to our next speaker. She studied urban and regional planning at the University of the Philippines. She writes for Philippine Daily Inquirer, Rappler, CNN, and has worked for the UN Habitat and the World Bank for City Development. Please welcome our second speaker today,
Environmental Planner Regine Andrea Palma.
Let's give her a warm round of applause.
Hi, good morning. Thank you, UST Archinet, for inviting me here. Before I start off with my slides, just want to test the temperature in the field. How many of you architecture students and design students want to become an urban planner in the future? Anyone? Any hands? That's quite a show of hands. And that's why I'm here. Now, I hope my Pecha Kucha will spark some interest into my profession. So let's get to it. Okay, so I will be discussing with you the democracy and sustainability in cities' public spaces. I am an advocate of public spaces in cities, not just in the Philippines, but around the world. Next. Wala the next slide for me. Automatic but all right, that's me. All right, so city planners are very much concerned with communities and cities and how people grow, no? And this is interfaced with the design industries through examples such as urban design and looking into landscape architecture for public spaces. So this is how it differentiates, no? We are very much concerned with sustainability, and this is something we're very concerned with. If you look at the difference of our metropolitans in the last 10 years and more than 10 years, we see that cities in the Philippines are growing very rapidly. Rapid urbanization is so prominent, from highly urbanized cities to metropolitans to mega cities. And it starts with people. Ay, hindi kita yung buong slide ko. Pero all right, a city the people are a heart of a city, and people require shelter, require livelihood, require food, and this requires logistics and requires space within cities. And it's like an organism; it grows and it grows and it grows, and we require space. Space is not an unlimited resource that we have, no, in our country. It's taking quite a while. Anyway, so it's like an organism like this, and it continues to grow. All right, it's quite slow. And this is what it looks like now. If we look at Metro Manila from a map, we are growing, no? Not just in Luzon where we have Metro Manila. We are seeing Metro Cebu rapidly urbanizing. We have Metro Davao. We have very highly urbanized cities across the Philippines with 4.4 urbanization growth rates. And this trend, this phenomenon is not going to stop. And land use planners such as myself have to manage and sustain the spaces that we have. And land use is a tool that is used together with local governments and development sectors to be able to contain growth, to be able to manage growth. No? And then I just wanted to emphasize futuristic cities that we see in the media, reclaimed cities or blank slate cities, are not the only focus of urban planning. This is supposed to be a reclamation of the Manila Bay. But this beautiful, this pretty picture, this concept, this beautiful design, this is very much in contrast with what we see in our cities nowadays. Urban planners are supposed to be looking at the public spaces that currently exist within cities. So instead of these families having a park or an open field like this, no, we are confined to this failure of planners and designers alike, no, and strategies that we are looking at in maintaining public spaces and having more of those in cities is conservation and parks and connecting bike lanes and connecting pedestrian ways and having all of these networks, no, in our cities, so that it is more accessible to people, no? to everyone in class. This picture represents how our values as planners and designers alike are reflected in our cities. And sad to say, it's far from an ideal because we are designing so much more for cars than people. And this is a reality. I've seen your slides in the exhibit, no? And we can see it in aerial views and street views, and we see here there are more parking spaces for motorcycles and cars than for people, no? Even if there are access ways here, it's not something friendly, it's not something walkable. There's not even one tree in this design, and this is a common sight in our sidewalks, no, and our streets. Instead of children playing or biking or mothers conversing or families getting to know each other in neighborhoods and communities, this is a problem that urban planners today are seeing in our public spaces. It's a violation. Nag-iba yung font ko. Anyway, Republic comes from the Latin term res publica, which goes way beyond sustainability, but looks into democracy, because this just shows us if Republic is about a public affair and a mutual people's commitment, and if the city are the heart if the people are the heart of a city, then we have a responsibility to actually do something about it. And this stems way back into history. You know, you would know the agora from Greek cities. You would know public spaces had encouraged debates, encouraged public markets, encouraged prose and ideas. And that is reflected to today's newer urbanists, such as Jane Jacobs, who fought with engineers, who fought with master planners in New York to retain parks, to retain walkways for mothers and for the citizens. And she said cities should be created by everybody, not just designers, not just architects, not just engineers, not just planners. It should be created by the people who use them. You would know Jan Gehl, no? He's also an architect, and he said this very, very crucial quote in modern planning: life first, then spaces, then buildings. We should be looking into the public activities, into the public life of what is existing in our cities before we design, before we build. And nag-iba yung font ko, but this is anyway, this is an advocacy of mine. It's called placemaking. Placemaking is a growing movement around the world where we create cities around the places that exist. It's not getting a blank slate. It's making current chaotic spaces work. No, so that's important. And for us, I just like to tell the architecture students here and other design professionals, we may be the technical people, but we should be merging our technical expertise with the people. We should be designing with the people, not just for them. It's not just about aesthetics or function. It's about what they need, what they want. And examples in the Philippines are very commendable, from biking groups to very commonly murals, to public markets, to having Zumba and like public events in streets. There are very many placemaking initiatives in the Philippines, and it's a growing movement that we can support as design professionals. And this is in support of the new urban agenda, which urban planners around the world are pushing for different countries, because we know that we will be continuing to urbanize and continuing to grow around cities. 2/3 of humanity will actually be in cities in the next 30 years, and the way we manage our public and urban spaces is very important. So just with that very fast presentation, I just wanted to emphasize how we make sustainability and democracy work in planning and design. And I think all of us, students and design professionals, have a role to play in contributing to both of these important topics. So thank you.
Thank you so much for that talk, Ms. Palma. So, if you have questions for our speakers for today, guys, you can save your questions for later, because we are going to have an open forum.
And again, guys, if you want to share something online, just tweet it with our official hashtag today. That is hashtag #SecondMath and hashtag Pintig19. And tag us on Twitter. That's at UST Archinet and at Tomcat UST. Also, guys,